Leo was a pharmacist, married to a beautiful wife, Mirabel, and they had two kids, two lovely kids. On this fateful day, on a cold winter day like today, Leo was returning from work and got a call from Mirabel, the wife. And Mirabel asked Leo, "What would you have for dinner?" He said, "Mac and cheese would be okay." And so Mirabel went with their two daughters to a grocery store to get something to prepare for dinner. And that was the last call that Leo would have received from his wife. 20 minutes later, Leo got home and saw police officers. They were waiting to share the news, a very bad news, with him. It was the news that the wife and his beautiful daughters had an auto crash and they died instantly. Leo was heartbroken. He was devastated. And he was wondering, with the target of life, misfortune has rested upon him. One fateful day, he was about to commit suicide. Being a pharmacist, he went to work, got all he could, medications, he brought them home. He was going to have an overdose of whatever he had. But luckily for him, his sister walked in. Debbie walked in and saw Leo. She waited on Leo for days. And on a fateful Sunday as well, she took Leo to the church on a Sunday. And behold, today's reading was read from the book of Job and the gospel reading of today. Perhaps he was listening to the preaching of the priest. And we'll think about today's reading, we'll see the lament of Job, talking about the fleetingness of human life, talking about the futility and the nothingness about life. And as human beings, we all go to the school of life, and we experience all kinds of drama in life. We all experience human brokenness. For some, human brokenness could be the loss of a beloved one. It could be sickness, maybe even a terminal sickness, illness. For some, it could be financial difficulty. But in one shape or form, we have all experienced human brokenness. And our readings of today, in a way, are telling us that human brokenness does not elude the grasp of our Lord Jesus Christ and God, who is the author of life. And so in the responsorial time we hear, give praise to God, the one who heals the brokenhearted. And we'll see the embodiment of that in our Lord Jesus Christ in the gospel reading, the one who is the author of life, who embodies that healing and that transformative power of God in the healing of Peter's mother-in-law today, who were told in the gospel reading that she could not move her body. She was having fever. Today we have, we have advanced in medicine. Back then, 2,000 years ago, the kind of fever would be likened to malaria, and it could lead to death. Even presently in different parts of Asia and even Africa, they still experience this malaria. I read in history in the 19th century when the missionaries came to Nigeria, a lot of them died of malaria, of this kind of fever. So it was a kind of fever that could actually lead to death. We were told in our gospel reading of today that Jesus helped Peter's mother-in-law. Not only helping her, he assisted her. He lifted her up. I was forced to check the meaning of that even in the Greek text. The concept of Jesus lifting her up reminds us of the resurrection of Jesus. The same very word in Mark's Gospel when Jesus said, "When I am lifted up, I will go before you to Galilee." when I'm raised up. So literally, Jesus raised Simon's mother-in-law from sickness. Jesus revived her. And in the light of Christian revelation, we can say that the Lord enabled her to share in his risen life, and she was filled with new life. What happened afterwards? She waited on Jesus Christ and the disciples. She gave praise to God, and she waited on them. Dear friends, at our lowest help in life, Jesus Christ lifts us up. At our lowest help in life, Jesus is the one who comes to lift us up of our weariness. He comes to lift us up of our meaninglessness. And sometimes Jesus will do this through the help of friends, families, and faith communities, or within our circle of influence. In the story I told you, it was Debbie, the sister of Leo, that was waiting on Leo. And she helped Leo. She ministered to Leo, the brother. And Leo, through the help and the grace of God, and through the help of his sister, he was about giving up on life. But with the grace of God, he held on to life. As we speak, Leo is married with 3 beautiful children. If he had committed suicide, what would have happened? Dear friends, we all have our own struggles in life, but the one we can depend on is Jesus Christ. Even in the gospel reading of today, they were bringing everyone possessed by demons, and one by one, Jesus was bringing restoration to their life. Every now and then, as human beings, we find ourselves in survival mode of life. It is Jesus who revives us. When we find ourselves in the survival mode of life, Jesus revives us because he is a dependable friend. There is no friend like Jesus. So whatever our sickness, our weariness, our tiredness, we can lament like Job, but we should not lament to the point of despair. The story of Leo is a story of hope. It is a story of survival. It is a story of revival. It was Jesus, through the help of the sister of Leo, that revived Leo. It was Jesus, through his help, that the woman in the gospel reading of today, Peter's mother-in-law, was revived. So whatever our story might be, whatever survival mode of life we'll find ourselves, let us allow Jesus to revive us. There is not a friend like the lowly Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. None as could heal